Last fire season was unprecedented. This year, another unprecedented event, the high heat.
Reaching upwards of 117 degrees.
That's why Governor Kate Brown moderated a panel alongside other Western governors, telling the president they need help and resources to fight wildfires.
She was very passionate about making sure that we understood the number of fires, the increasing number of fires that you have seen, and the number of people and structures that have been hit.
That's Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm. She was also at the meeting.
Well, we are seeing cascading climate-related events, whether it is storms or droughts, and obviously droughts contribute to wildfires, and the heat waves that y'all are experiencing, that is clearly directed to climate change.
Since 2015, the U.S. has experienced, on average, roughly 100 more large wildfires than the year before.
Last year, we spent $90 billion as a country in 1 year just in the wake of these climate-related events.
At the meeting, the president introduced wildfire-related initiatives, including development of technology to detect wildfires, adding more air resources, and firefighters on the ground. President Biden also wants to pay firefighters more, at least $15 an hour, plus bonuses.
Last week, I learned that some of our federal firefighters are being paid less than $13 an hour. Come on, man, that's unacceptable to me. And I immediately directed my team to take decisive action to fix it.
Governor Brown says the president will have to work with Congress on his plans.
The good news is we have Senator Wyden taking the lead on these issues. For example, it was Senator Wyden that got us the resources so we could train our National Guardsmen and women ahead of time so that we don't send them during fire season to 2 weeks of training. They're already trained.
Governor Brown says right now there are several hundred National Guardsmen and women trained up and ready to help fight fires.